we got to go right to this because it's so important. That prayer is to the soul as food is to the body. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
Do you know who wrote that? Reverend Anonymous. I looked it up on the internet just before service. I was searching for that quote. Like, who said that first? And I didn't get anything. I don't know what. Maybe it was my mind or my computer or whatever. And within me it says, "Who cares who said it? Say it today. Say it now. It's important that you say it. It doesn't matter who said it first. It's important that you say it now and that you believe it." That prayer is to the soul as food is to the body. I need prayer. I need meditation. I need to be spiritually fed. If you get up in the morning and you don't eat breakfast, you just don't feel the same. Well, maybe if you're fasting, it's okay. But after about 6 or 7 days, unless you're used to it, it's not going to feel very good. And try going without water. Without being nourished. So it's more than being fed. At first I put, "We're being spiritually fed" out on our sign. That was the name of the message. And then I thought about it and I said, no, I need more than that. I need to be spiritually nourished. Because you can eat a lot of junk food and not be nourished. You can eat a lot of stuff and you can not be nourishing your body. So it's the same with your spiritual life. You can take in a lot of junk food. You can surf the web all you want, and you can read all the popular so-called spiritual books and self-help books that you want. And you can go to all the lectures and workshops that you want, and you can hear the words over and over again. But unless you experience it, unless you action it in your life and make it your experience, you're not being nourished by it. It's just words. It's like, yeah, I'm a vegetarian. I ate a lot of Cheetos and potato chips and white bread. No, it's not like that. Somebody said, yeah, potato chips and beer are vegan. So it's more than that. It's more than just saying I'm a spiritual person and I'm on a spiritual path. I need to be spiritually nourished deeply in my soul to that which resonates with me deep in my soul, and then be able to action that with the help of my friends, with the help of Spirit, action that in the world so that we are truly being the light of the world. That's what you're called to be. No matter who you are, wherever you've been planted, you have to bloom. And the water is your spiritual nourishment. And the spiritual food is the sun to the plant. So the water and the sun is your spiritual food, your prayer time, your meditation time, all that speaks to your soul, and all that you can really feel like you're sharing with the universe, with everyone around you. But not only that, lately I've had these moments of sublime peace. In the middle of the chaos, I've just had this like wave come over me of sublime peace. And I realized, wow, it's working. Like after all this time. And you think, well, I'm still doing the same thing. I'm working really hard and we're doing all these things. We're very busy and we filled up every hour of every day. But guess what? Every hour of every day, I am still in prayer. My life is a prayer that God is praying. My words are thoughts. Right? My thoughts are words that God is saying. It's from the song from Still Good. My laughter is the sound of angels playing. And that's how I want to feel each and every day. And if I want to feel that way, I've got to feed my soul. I have to feed my soul. If you wanted to drive here this morning and you got in your car and there was no gas in the car, I don't think you would get very far. And if you live in Eastham or somewhere like that, you're not going to be able to walk here in a half an hour. So I put gas in the car because I don't want to walk here, and I don't want to get up 2 hours earlier and walk in the cold. So I have this vehicle, and it's going to get me to where I want to go if I put gas in it, if I put oil in it, if I maintain it, if I bring it to the technician, if I keep air in the tires. And these are all things that you need to do for your soul. Physically, you eat food every day and you try to get good, nourishing food, and you figure out your menu and your diet, and you have really a lot of fun doing that. And you see the healers and the chiropractors and the massage therapists, and you go to John Rosario and you pray with Patricia. Oh, that's later. But you do all of these things. You go shopping, you get your list of what you're going to buy at the store, and you're doing all these things for your body. So we have like the body, we do all these things, we take care of the body. And we get doctors and we get all kinds of stuff going on, right? Think about how much of the time of your day you spend taking care of your body. And then we get the mental aspect. Hopefully, we turn off the TV once in a while, we read, we converse, we talk about subjects. We have the creative aspect that also feeds your mental and emotional needs. You nourish those aspects. You need care, you need comfort, you need love in your life. You need to have moments of happiness and creativity, and those are going to feed you emotionally. So you're mentally fed, you're emotionally fed, you're physically fed. How much of the time do we spend on our spiritual need, being fed spiritually? How much of the time do we really truly spend in prayer and meditation? Well, it kind of gets an afterthought. Maybe I'll write a prayer card and put it in the box, and then I'll go off worrying about them again. No, put the prayer in the prayer box and pray for them. Actually pray. John and I had a meeting this week, and we're gonna set up a prayer circle. We're going to invite all of you guys to it. So next week we'll put up a sign-up sheet so you can put what day is the best for you. Maybe we'll do it one night of the week, every week. This is an idea Lily had last year when she was reading the story of Unity and how Charles and Myrtle Fillmore started Unity. It was all based on prayer, getting together and praying affirmatively. And guess what? This movement is huge. Guess what? It really works for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. This has worked for 125 years or more. It's based on prayer. And so the one thing that Unity has always stood for is continuous affirmative prayer. And it's no surprise to me that today's daily word, this is why it's so easy to be in the Spirit. The daily word is about spiritual nourishment. I begin each day dedicated to fulfilling my spiritual purpose. Because I'm a spiritual being, I am more than a physical body. My needs go beyond food and water. I find nourishment in prayer and meditation. Now, I want to tell you, I was working on our new condo all week, so I didn't have time to read the daily word. However, I didn't need to, because my message is about spiritual nourishment. And the scripture that I'm taking it from, it's Matthew. This is Matthew 4:14. This is the one where Jesus says, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." Now we know God doesn't say words. God doesn't talk in a language. We might hear it in words and language because our minds kind of use language to understand things. Not all the time. But when he says we are being fed or nourished, we live by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God, What that means is when we dwell on the truth, it feeds our soul. It nourishes our being. That's why affirmative prayer works, because we are affirming what's true. How much of the day do you go along affirming things that are not true? Worrying about things. I've heard so many negative things. Oh, the world's this and the world's... Well, guess what? That's what it's going to look like to you. Affirm the truth and that's what it'll look like. I guarantee it. It's been said that the state of humankind in the modern world, that we are rich in material substance, but we are starving when it comes to spiritual substance. And it's not that there isn't an abundance of spiritual substance always available to us. It's that we're focused on the material. So I want to talk about what is spiritual food? How do we stay nourished in the Spirit? And what effect does it have on my life and on the world when I am dedicated to spiritually feeding myself each and every day? And not only just the surface of spiritual language, but really nourishing my soul with the experience of truth. So the three scriptures that I picked to help me with this, number one is Matthew 4:4. Because when we realize that nourishment, spiritual nourishment, is my greatest need, I need to feed my soul before I feed anything else, it kind of flips the script. We go with basic body needs, then maybe emotional needs, body and mental, and then maybe emotional, and finally, all right, spiritual. I'll go to Unity this morning if it's convenient for me, or But how many of you go, I need to be here? I want to be here. I really need it. I want it. And it's absolutely, thank you. Thank you. Because I'm getting nourished. There's many times, it's like physical exercise is actually good for you. But how many of us think that way when it's time to get to the gym? When it's time to actually put on the sneakers and get in there and start working out, start stretching and doing your yoga. And by the time you're 5 minutes into it, you're going, oh, this feels good. And an hour later, you go, I am so glad I did that. And the next day, you want to do it again. And about 3 weeks later, you find yourself going, boy, it's been a long time since I exercised. It's amazing to me. It feels so good, and it takes me like 3 months to get back to the gym. I have an exercise plan. 30 minutes a day, 3 times a year. Works for me. I'm working on this muscle here. So I think one of the most important things here is to know that spiritual sustenance is available to us all the time. We're just not coming to the table. We're focused on something else. We think that if we are fed physically, that we're okay. That's good enough. I've got my house, I got my car, I got my job, But the thing is, once you got all that stuff, you want more. And then you want more, and you want more, and you want more, and it's never filled. You never fill that hole, that gap, that space that only God can fill. You keep trying to fill up the space where spiritual substance should be with material things. Or with mental understanding. It can't be done. And even if you're emotionally balanced, something will be lacking because you will lack a connection with all other beings. And you might say, I'm fine. Those poor guys are not. And that's not enough for me. Now, I'll tell you, in New England, if you're sports fans, you're very satisfied right now. We just won the Super Bowl and we won the World Series back in October. Now, if you'll remember, somebody, Reverend Anonymous, he predicted this in a sermon several months ago. And I was saying it's not enough for me when the Red Sox win another World Series and the Patriots win another Super Bowl. It's just not enough. So what do? They go out and win the World Series and the Super Bowl. It's just, and I'm a big sports fan too, but it just doesn't fill me up. It doesn't do it. It's so temporary. You're going, wow, I hope they win next year. Damn, it was only a week ago. Do you see how temporary the joys of the human mind are? We need a nourishment, a sustenance that is long-lasting, that is eternal, something that will last forever. That's about as temporary as you can get. You win the world championship. Actually, the next day they're talking about, are they going to win again next year? What are we going to do now? Is this guy going to retire? They got all these questions about what's going to happen next. Holy mackerel. You can't even enjoy it for one day? Now, what kind of nourishment is that? It's not enough for me. And I do enjoy it. I mean, I played a lot of sports as a kid, and I enjoy the physical activity and the competition and all that. But what it's become is this huge distraction from our peace of mind. It's great, but it's not enough. I need to be spiritually fed. I need to affirm the truth. I want to go back to one thing about physical and spiritual nourishment, because I wanted to touch on this. This is a very, very key thing. When Jesus had fed the 5,000 and everyone started following him, lots of people, they followed him. So he got in a boat and he took off. He went somewhere. And they all followed him. They all went, okay, we're going to find out where this guy is. And thousands of people started, follow. And when he saw them, he went to them and he said, you seek me not because of the miracle, but because you ate of the bread and your bellies were full. Do you get that? Many of us take affirmative prayer. Many of us take spiritual law and we say, well, I can manifest anything I want and that's going to be great for me. What about everybody else? What about the principle behind it that brought that miracle to you? Are you forgetting about that? Are you just happy that your belly is full? Are you just following along the spiritual law to fill up your belly again? And guess what? More and more and more and more. And if you're like me and you only go to the gym 3 times a year, your belly's going to be out to here. I go 3 times a week. But isn't it interesting? He said, you seek me not for the miracle. You don't want to learn about this incredible power that you have. All you're interested in is satisfying your physical need. Using spiritual law to satisfy your physical need, not your spiritual need. And that's why we need to be nourished spiritually. The manifestation of it is inconsequential. You are given the whole universe. You already own the whole world and all the stars in the sky. What else do you want? The universe is yours and everything in it. What are you doing with it is the problem. Are you just so satisfied that you can make a little bread? Are you really enthralled and excited about this power that's within you? That's what excites me. It's that I can find out who and what I am as a spiritual being. So there's a story Some of you guys remember this story in John. Jesus with the woman at the well. And they go through a long conversation. And finally what he says is, whoever drinks of the water that I will give him will never thirst. But the water that I will give him will become what? A well of water. But it will become in him a well of water. The well is in you. It's not a well out there. The well is springing up unto eternal life, but springing up from within you, not from out there. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? So you will never thirst again. Once you get a little bit of a taste of the power of your mind, you will never be thirsty for spiritual food ever again. You will be nourished from that which is within you. I'm making a long story short because we have a little meeting after the service. So the next thing I wanted to say was, no matter what's going on, no matter what you're after, seek first the kingdom of heaven. Everything else will be added unto you. Don't worry about that. Don't ever worry about that. Always seek first the kingdom. Always just go to Spirit. Go there. Connect. Be in the light. Make your soul connection each day, every day, and all day. And at the end of the day, give thanks. That's a practice that, I've been involved in for a long time, and I'm blessed to be married to a wonderful person who also is on the same path, and we give thanks every day. It's so amazing of all the things we have to give thanks for. Don't forget our jar in the back, our gratitude jar. Write down what you have to be thankful for and drop a little note. We're going to read it at the end of the year. Be thankful at the end of the day. Seek ye first the kingdom, and you'll have a lot to be grateful for. Seek ye first your spiritual nourishment, and all the other things will be nourished for you. Your soul, your emotional needs, your mental needs, your physical needs, they'll all be taken care of. And many of you know that this is true. Seek ye first the kingdom. If you have a physical need, don't go straight to the doctor. Go straight to prayer and then go to the doctor. But go first to prayer. If you have an emotional need, go first to prayer. Then you can go see the counselor or psychologist, anything you want. You can go see the marriage counselor. Whatever works for you is okay, but seek ye first the kingdom. Go first to prayer. If you have a financial need, go first to prayer. I was getting a little nervous. We bought our first condo ever, our first anything ever. Lily and I, and we're fixing it up ourselves, and Leonard's been helping us do dump runs, and David Sobey's been over there, and Charlie's coming over tomorrow. He didn't know about that, but he is. And you're all invited to come over and work. I'd like to throw a party for you. What time would you like? Tomorrow? What time should they come over? 10 a.m.? Oh, wait till you see. Do you know how to run a table saw? Maybe we're not ready for you. No, we have a lot of painting to do. We've got a lot of stuff. You call us up.
I said, what about peeling wallpaper?
Peeling wallpaper. We're stopping. Does anybody know how to mud into drywall? I do that. It's fun. You get to throw it at each other. Bring your dirty clothes. So we're going to throw drywall at each other. But the point of this is, and I started to worry about finances, and then the voice within me said, just give. Give the full tithe. Bring the full tithe to the storehouse. Don't hold anything back. And something that one of our prosperity teachers, Edwene Gaines, promotes is that she will take an extra 20%. When she really wants to receive more, she gives an extra 20% and then sees how that manifests in her life. So I did that. I said, okay, I'm just going to give more. If I'm worried about that I don't have enough, let's see, give more. Just give it. Give it. It's so incredible. And it's always worked. Whenever I've held back, the universe has held back giving to me. Because what am I telling the universe? I'm not worth it. I'm holding back. No. In that moment, I increase it. So, I don't know, let's see. I increased the tithe 40%. So that's how much I'm expecting from the universe. And I didn't figure it out. Some people figure it out. They go, well, I need to fix up this place. I need to do this. And they'll figure it all out. I don't do that. I just see the universe is perfect. It's going to give me exactly what I need all the time. But I love to give. I think when we did our prosperity experiment, I learned the joy of giving. I think that's a wonderful thing, is that I've always been withholding from myself. I didn't think I was enough. I withheld it from myself. Now I look for people to give it to, like to give my gratitude to. And what happens is I feel good about myself. I'm not withholding. I feel worthy for the next wave of prosperity and abundance that's coming my way. And every time I give, I feel so amazing that I'm able to do it. Like, wow, I actually have it. Like, I was lying to myself saying I didn't have it to give. Oh, I got to give it to the electric company. They're already paid. Oh, I got to give it to the gas company. I already paid them. Oh, you still have money in the bank. Give it away. And guess what? More comes. And I had more in the bank than I had before. And that's how it works, my friend. You apply this technique of spiritual nourishment to your world, and it will nourish your emotions, your mind, and your physical being, including your finances. It will nourish everything. It will grow like an amazing garden. If any of you are gardeners, you know what I'm talking about. The more fertilizer you put in there, and the more you water it, and the more you get the right sunlight, the more your garden flourishes. And I want your gardens to flourish. I want you to really affirm the truth. The reason I'm talking about this is the last thing, is about abundance, is I was reading Eric Butterworth's famous book, Spiritual Economics. And he says some really cool things in here. One of them is like, look at like you have a spiritual storehouse, like a bank. How much are you putting in that bank account? How much time are you investing in your spiritual bank account? How much are you putting in there? Because that's how much you'll have when you go to take some out. When you need it, it will be there. So invest in yourself. Place faith. Place your prayer and your meditation time. Place all of that in your spiritual storehouse. It will always serve you. It will always be there. Forget about how it's going to happen. You've received miracles all your life, haven't you? Everything has happened miraculously. Why would it change now? It's not going to change. The glorious truth, according to Eric Butterworth, and I happen to agree with him, is that you are a very special person. And that you always have something very special working within you. It's very unique. I always say you're a unique expression of God, and the world needs you. You have something special working within you, flowing through you. The whole universe is on your side. Life is forever biased on the side of healing. It's forever biased on the side of overcoming. It's forever biased on the side of success. When you get yourself centered in the universal flow, you become synchronized with the divine bias for good. Amazing things not only can, but will unfold. Some will call them miracles, but you will accept them as the perfectly natural function of the divine process. the divine process. Feed your soul. Watch what happens. You will be like a well with that eternal water springing up in you. And you will be nourishing all the world. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at www.unityoncapecod.org.